How are you? Happy day. It's Shauna. It's wonderful to be here. It seems like lately, I don't know if I've been just talking a tremendous amount, but I don't know, it feels like I constantly have a frog in my throat or something like that. I'm just talking a lot, I think is what's going on here. That's okay. That's all good. Okay. Looks like I'm live. Excellent. Happy day. I hope everyone is having a lovely, lovely day. Fun topic today for me. I think that this stuff is awesome and super, super duper interesting. So if you're here, first of all, thank you. It is so wonderful. I really appreciate you coming to take the time. That's just the most beautiful thing. And if you're here, please say hi. Comment down below, just say hello, just to make sure that I know that the audio is working. That's always kind of a bit of a question too. Is that working? Am I seeing? So just say hi, just say hello, say where you're tuning in from. If you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay as well. So I'm just going to wait until now. I'm getting worried that it is not working, that my audio or something like that isn't working. I was having an issue with my earbuds and stuff like that. It seems like sometimes those don't end up wanting to cooperate. But yeah, hopefully this is all good and everything is all cool. So, all right, so we're going to be talking today about there we go. Hello. Bill Jenna, lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for confirming that everything is all well with the world. All right, perfect. Good. So your group, talking about your group. All right, so I'm just going to jump in as well. That's another thing. I tend to just jump in. So I try to keep these kind of nice and short, just so we can kind of go along with the rest of our lives here. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I'm not going to wait very long. So we need to build our audience, right? We know this. We know this. We know the strength of it. We know the power of it. This is something that stands in the way for so many coaches, for so many service providers. You're brilliant at what you do, right? You're very good. You know that you're getting results. You know that you make an impact. But without an audience to share what you have, you're dead in the water. Okay. It's kind of like, being really fantastic and then going to an empty room and talking about it. If nobody is there to listen to all the value that you have, then it's not really doing you that much good. It's not doing a lot of good on the part of the people that you can really make a difference for. Okay. So there's a few ways that we can kind of get in front of and build our audience. There's advertising, right? We can pay for advertising. The challenge with advertising, it can be fantastic. It can be a really, really fantastic option, once you've got yourself all sorted out from an organic perspective. Because if you don't know exactly what converts on every step along the way, then you can end up, of course, putting a bunch of money into ads, which it can get expensive as you just start to kind of like tweak and try to like tweak every element, because of course there's a lot of different pieces to ads, just like there are to all of our businesses. But it can end up being an expensive exercise in kind of getting that information. Once you're kind of up and running and you know everything that converts, then it's absolutely fantastic. Or if you have that bandwidth, absolutely perfect. Okay, so also what you can do is you can mine your existing networks. That is something I would highly recommend, by the way, is kind of going into your existing networks. This is fantastic, but even the most connected of us are only so connected. We only have so much of a list, right? We can borrow from other people's audiences, right? So we can speak in other people's groups. We can go live on someone's podcast. We can get PR mentions. We can do all this other kind of thing as well. But it is becoming, more and more dicey to rely on other people's audiences. Things change, algorithms change, goals change. It's at the whim of the admin of that particular group or whoever happens to own that audience. Obviously, they're in control of what happens or what doesn't. Okay, so more and more I'm seeing people going, okay, twigging to this, being like, all right, I need my own audience. I need my own space that I have control of, where I can control the narrative, when I can get the value out there, when I can do all that stuff. All right. So, but the thing on the other side is, of course, is the growth piece, which we want to really jump in on our own. So we want to build our own. Makes perfect sense. Now, I think people start out really excited, right? Because you get this, you've been down that path. Maybe you've been down the advertising path, or you've kind of just gotten tired of being stuck in other people's audiences, and you're like, okay, this is it. I'm doing this. I totally get the value, and I want to do it, and I want to jump in. And then some of that enthusiasm starts to wane. I have joined literally thousands of Facebook groups over the last 9 years when I first started my first Facebook group. And I see that excitement and I see it drop off, and I see it excitement and I see it drop off. I see it on an individual basis. I see it as like an overall trend and things like that as well. People getting really excited and then getting stuck and going, oh, what do I do with this? How do I kind of make this happen? Because you go ahead, you're pumped, you're jazzed, you invite all your friends and family, and then you kind of go, crap, now what do I do? Where am I actually going to find more people? Okay, people get a little bit disillusioned because that growth piece doesn't happen, and then it's all sort of a ripple down effect, right? Feel like you're in an echo chamber, you're the only one talking. You're not booking, your sales is not happening, you're not booking sales calls, you're not getting people to the other side of your offers, right? Very, very frustrating. So let's look at the mistakes, which is why we're all here today and talking about this wonderful and important topic. Kathy, yes, the up and down. Exactly. Exactly. The up and down. It's very frustrating, right? It can be very frustrating. All right. And Nicole from BC. Hello, Nicole. Thank you. I'm so glad you can hear me. Okay. So some of these mistakes. So number one key mistake is not being consistent enough. I get it. This is a piece of advice that you get for every area of your business. I totally get that it can be frustrating that I'm saying it again. But it's important, because one of the things to remember is that when we are going through and actively growing our group, this is an ongoing process. This is something that we are going to continue to work on each and every day. So something that you should know is that the Facebook algorithm, it wants to see that your group is growing every day. So it wants to see, I'm not saying that you have to grow by 100 members a day or anything like that, but it wants to see activity that's happening on a daily basis. Because from Facebook's perspective, when you think about Facebook's business model, they want people, they want eyeballs, they want attention, they want interest. And if your space is one that is growing and that has some engagement happening, Facebook, the algorithm kind of just bumps you up a little bit in terms of priority. And what I mean by bumps you up in terms of priority, then it means that more people, a higher percentage of the people who are in your community are going to see what's in it. Right. And the growth number, the number of people who you are adding, is a part of that equation. What exactly is the equation? Who knows? I don't know. There's something magic and convoluted. Who knows exactly what the algorithm is? But that's one piece of it. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are consistently going through the steps that go to help you add these people to your group, to these ideal members to add to your group, because Facebook does pay attention to that. This is not something that I want you to stress extensively about, but it is something that you can kind of keep in mind, because sometimes you'll notice that that it seems like a bunch of people see things and things kind of drop off and it goes back and forth. That is a normal thing in Facebook land as well. But this can be one of the pieces of the pie, even if you're just adding by a couple. We want to make sure that you have it on an ongoing basis, which is why that consistency is really valuable and really important. All right. The number two mistake I see is not being direct enough. Okay, because I think sometimes what happens is we feel a little bit sheepish about saying, hey, come join my group. You should join my group. I see you do X, Y, and Z. That's amazing. I have a community of people doing X, Y, and Z, or that they are your in this demographic, or having this problem, or this is what we're talking about and solving each day. People being a little bit more standoffish and kind of just wanting to say, hey, just wanted to let you know I have a group. And then that's it. And then they don't go ahead and kind of say anything else or be any more specific or be more direct. What we always want to remember, and we always want to think about, what the invitation is for any kind of thing that we're doing. And when we're talking about our Facebook group and trying to get people into it, the call to action, so to speak, or the invitation is, you should come and join. I would love for you to join. You should join because, and it's relevant because of X, Y, Z. I need you to be more direct. I need you to be way more direct. I would like to see you go way past, go way past what you think would be kind of okay. And then we can always pull you back. But we want you to try. Now, a quick little caveat as well. I am not a big fan of going and telling people to do things that they're uncomfortable with. That's not good, because if you go and try to systematize something you're uncomfortable with, you're not going to do it. And then you aren't going to get results and you aren't going to make progress. Then you're going to go, well, what Shauna said didn't work. I hate this. This sucks. So I'm not a big proponent of saying just go and be all uncomfortable. That's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying instead. One of the processes that I go through with my clients is that we go through and really look at the how to incentivize action on the part of the people that you're wanting to move. And part of that process is really understanding the problems that you solve. And a big important process of that for that is really diving into the problems that you're solving, right? Now, when you do that exercise, when you go through that process, it is virtually impossible not to feel a tremendous amount of empathy for the people who are stuck in the place that they are stuck in. Right? The problem that you solve is a real one. It's a problem. And people maybe they've been stuck there for a couple of months, maybe they've been stuck there for several years. And where they want to be, which is you know how to get them there, is such a relief. I mean, it depends on what it is that you do, but it is a huge transformation for them to kind of get from where they have been stuck for however long to where it is that they need and want to be. And so I need you to really own that, be entrenched in it, really understand it, because that will help to embolden you to actively and directly invite people more readily, because you're like, this solves this. I can't handle having people stuck here anymore. I need to help them. And so I know that this home that I've created is a space for doing just that. All right. So please comment yes below if you know that your community is one where awesome things happen. You know that the value that you drop is really consistent and really valuable and really helpful. Say yes below if you know that you can help people with the challenges that you have. Okay. Because when you know that, it is so much like a no brainer to go ahead and be more direct. All right. So mistake number 2, not being direct enough. Okay. Mistake number 3. Mistakey number 3. Okay, somebody has a question. When you post from IG to Facebook, no, that can be fine. Kathy says, yes, of course, you know exactly what it is that you do. Exactly. Kathy, I will go back in the comments if you get time to be able to answer this question. But first of all, I want to make sure when you're saying IG and it filters through to Facebook, are you talking to your Facebook page? I don't think that you can make it go to your Facebook group. So Facebook pages are distinctly different from Facebook groups. All right, Facebook pages, on the whole, your organic reach is much further limited than what you can get from a Facebook group, because of course, Facebook pages, Facebook knows that you're setting up a Facebook business page. It knows it's for business, and it wants you to pay for advertising, makes sense, to get the reach that you're looking for. Okay, but yeah, like posting to both of them is absolutely fine for sure. And then in terms of wanting to build community and build engagement and increase your number of sales calls booked or whatever your sales process is, what I generally recommend is more in a Facebook community, Facebook group kind of thing. So if you get a time to answer the question, let me know, and then we can talk about that either after this, or if you answer it in time, then hopefully I can answer it on the live as well. Okay, so number the next one. Issue number 3, mistake number 3 is being task oriented rather than results oriented. All right, so oftentimes questions that I get is people say, okay, well, to how many groups should I post, or how many places should I post to each day? But that's the wrong question. All right, now the right question is, how many people should I be targeting, or how many people should I be looking to grow my community by each day? That is the right question. So it doesn't necessarily matter how many places that you post to, because if you are not communicating in a way that incentivizes action, then you can post to 1,000, but if what you're saying doesn't make sense to anybody or doesn't really kind of articulate their issue in a way that they immediately identify with, then again, you can post to 1,000 different places and you're not going to get anybody, because what you're saying isn't incentivizing enough. Okay, so it's not so much about how many places that you post to, it's about how clearly you're able to articulate what it is that you do and the problem that you solve in a way that is going to make people kind of go, oh yeah, that's me. That's absolutely me. I definitely need to be there. I want to be a part of this space. All right, so we're not being task oriented, we're being results oriented. All right, so you want to focus on that. And as I already mentioned, you want to have that daily growth. All right. And then issue number 4 is wanting to rely on the Facebook algorithm to grow your group organically for you, kind of like a build it and they will come kind of situation. It's not like that. It's not like that. Okay. It would be awesome if it was like that. Once you get to a certain place, it can be like that. Once you get a certain amount of engagement and once you get a certain amount of momentum, then you get to be featured more prominently in search results and all those kinds of things. And then your community is going to grow more organically. But until you get to that spot, it is going to be a very active process that you are actively enrolled in. Okay, so it's not enough to just set your Facebook group up and then sit back and kind of relax. It's not hard. It's not a hard thing to grow your group and get lots of engagement and book sales calls. That stuff's not hard. It is, but it is a step-by-step and active process. All right. So we're not going to just sit back and rely on Facebook to kind of solve this for us. All right. So the key idea here, kind of the big thing that I want you to walk away from is that this is a recruitment process. It's an active effort. Your group growth is an active effort. Just as a kind of a little story that made me think of all of this stuff. So I lived in Australia for a while in Melbourne. I lived there for a couple of years. And in Melbourne, there is this area, it's this stretch of road where there's all kinds of Italian restaurants. Oh, the most amazing food. It's called Lygon Street. And, you know, on the weekends, especially, but kind of any night of the week, I'm sure not now because of COVID, but any night of the week you go and it is just humming. Like it's just, it's people walking. I mean, it's Australia, right? So it's beautiful. It's nice and warm. You know, everything is kind of really lovely. And there's all of these restaurants, all these potential places that you can go in to eat. And so what we would do with my friends is like you kind of go and you just start walking and you decide, of course, as time goes on, you get your favorites and everything, but you just kind of start walking and deciding. And out of most of the restaurants, there's usually someone standing there, a staff member who's saying, come in, you should come in. What is your favorite food? We specialize in this and this, and it's absolutely fantastic. You should absolutely come in. Oh my gosh, how many friends do you have? Perfect. I've got a table right here for you. If you come in now, I'll throw in a bottle of wine. I'll throw in 2 bottles of wine. Do you like red or white? Like they are actively encouraging you to come in and they're communicating in a way that is highly relevant because of the fact that I love pasta and I love wine. Beautiful combination. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay. And the fact that there's a table right here and it's right here by the window. And so you're going to have you're going to have like the view right there and it's got a nice breeze. And like they say everything that is relevant to my friends and I for why it is that we might want to kind of come in. That's how I want you to think of your Facebook group. This is this home that you've created and you want to actively invite people in. You're not saying, hey, buy my thing, buy my thing. That's not that. What you're doing is you're saying, hey, I can solve your problem. I can get you a bottle of wine. I can get you an amazing table, all room for all of your friends. Okay. So this is the kind of big picture that I want you to think about. All right. So again, the key idea, this is a recruitment process. This is not an active or a passive activity. All right. So as far as your homework, so just go ahead and join groups where your ideal clients hang out, get clear on your daily growth goal. Okay, what is your daily growth goal? And then make sure that you are active in your recruitment process. All right, be really clear with your invitation and actively look to include people in your space. All right, remember, this is a recruitment process. It's recruitment. Okay, it's effort. It's active, ongoing effort. Okay, all right. So if this is something that you're in this space, you know already that you can get results. You have had results. You know you can get results for your end customers. You know that you are able to make a difference, but you're wanting to make more of an impact. You're wanting to own your audience and have control over that space. You just want to grow, you want to get that engagement humming kind of sooner rather than later. You don't want to spend months on this trying to figure it out. And you want to be booking those sales calls or whatever your sales process is and getting the other side of your offers. If that's for you, comment groups below. I may have something for you. We can get you started with this sooner rather than later. All right, any questions, pop them in the comments. I didn't see any additional comments. I can see that there's more comments, but it's not showing me what they are. So just make sure you comment below and I will make sure to catch you after the live. All right, so happy day. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the group and we'll talk soon. All right, have a good one. Bye, everybody.